Hey, good morning to the world. My name is Todd Fabeck. I'm with Clarifresh, and I just want to check in with Samantha and Becca that my sound is okay, and then I'm sharing a screen.
Yes, to both.
Okay. All right. That's a great, we're off to a hot start. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Our webinar today. We're going to go through some introductions here and say hello to everyone, encourage as many questions and comments that you have whilst we're working through this for the next 30 minutes. Um, and I just, want to welcome you to spending time with us to talk about Clarifresh and how IMG are working together. I will go here and start by doing the slideshow, which is essentially why we're here today. So today's topic in the star of the show is going to be IMG Citrus, who is a current Clarifresh customer that has been doing amazing work with our QC automation platform. And you're going to hear all sorts of stuff from them that's more relevant than even me speaking of it, because I am speaking from the Clarifresh perspective. But the way that this is going to work for the next couple of minutes and the next 25 minutes essentially is we're going to introduce the team. I'm going to do a very quick 20,000 foot view about why Clarifresh got into the market to work with produce companies and be lucky enough to work with good folks like IMG. And then we'll turn it over to Becca and Samantha to talk about what led them on their journey to find a QC solution, how they're applying the abilities of Clarifresh to help their overall program. And then ultimately, we end up where we always like to end up, which is a discussion around value and Q&A. If you see an intersection between how you do your QC today, how IMG is using Clarifresh, and we're here to answer any of your questions. So we'll start with the introductions. Hello, my name is Todd Fabeck. I'm head of North America with Clarifresh. I've been in the roles almost 4 years now, and it's been terrific so far. From my team, Sebastian Hildago, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sebastian Hidalgo. I'm the project manager for North America, and I help clients implement their solutions within Clarifresh.
Thank you. Samantha?
Hi, I'm Samantha Ryan. I've been with IMG for 5 years. I am the head of QC. I oversee everything quality.
Thank you. Becca?
Hi, Becca McMurrin. I'm the Director of Business Development here at IMG Citrus. I have been with IMG for about 2 years now, but have been working in the agricultural space for about the last 12 years.
Thank you. So I'm going to spend 1 minute on what's Clarifresh doing, who are they, what's going on, to give you some background, like I said, a 20,000 foot view. So Clarifresh, whether you've heard of us or not, I would not be surprised if the answer could be not. But we are becoming more known in the produce industry because we have been around since 2018. We started the company in 2018, but for the first couple of years, we were building the software. We're a SaaS solution, cloud-based solution. So there was a little bit of R&D work to be done at the beginning to build the centralized platform that we'll discuss a little bit more today. But ultimately, we're very unique in industry that we have the ability to use computer vision and AI-driven photography in our mobile app for inspectors to help an inspector evaluate the fruit or the vegetables at the inspection point. This has been going on since 2018. We signed our first commercial customer right around 2000 and or late 2019, early 2020. And currently we are being used in 6 out of 7 continents. So we've been lucky enough to scale globally because produce is global. And if anybody has a DC in Antarctica, please let us know because we want to go 7 for 7. just to make a little bit of joke there. But ultimately, our goal in life and why we get up every day, to be quite honest, is the inspector is our number one customer. They work hard, they do an amazing job of looking at lots of product, lots of samples, and we give them a mobile app to go faster. And by giving them the mobile app to record all the quality data at the inspection point, we also allow them to use our computer vision, which I mentioned earlier, to help bring more objectivity into the inspection itself by using technology to measure things like size and color, record other attributes that are necessary as they move through the inspection process. Then, when they're done, they hit tap to complete. I'm done with my inspection, and all of that granular data um, is structured and it flows up in real time into the cloud-based platform that we'll be talking about in just a moment. And when that happens, you ultimately have the ability to communicate automatically and in real time with trading partners, be they suppliers or be they customers. Inspector finishes the inspection, and lots of really cool things happen in real time. And by doing so on that auto-generated QC report and auto-delivered to trading partners, you get the final piece of the puzzle, which is early visibility into the quality that's arriving to you and early visibility about the quality that's going out from you. And then ultimately the objectivity rises, and then really kind of accomplishing a goal to help the inspectors go a lot faster, communicate more effectively to trading partners, to smooth over the ability to discuss quality from not just the quality mismatch perspective, but ultimately from a rejections and a claims perspective. The more we know about the quality of the sample, the more we know about how that product's going to flow across the value chain. On my screen right now, we take quality specs and we create them on the back end of the solution to help with the grading. As I mentioned before, we give the inspector the mobile app to take in the data at the inspection point. And then that leads to the ability to do all the reporting that's necessary to run your business, to communicate about the quality as it's been taken in across the value chain. But that's one thing for me to talk about it. But what we're here today is to let IMG Citrus discuss how they have been working with ClairFresh since we went into business together, I think almost a year ago now, right, guys? Is it about a year? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this up here because this is really what it's about. IMG wanted to do this, and so we're going to let IMG talk us through how, I think, Becca, if it's okay to start with you, um, just describe, you were given a task to strategically figure out where IMG wanted to go as a business and at scale, and maybe just talk about how the initial genesis for the idea about where you're taking the business and how you were searching for a QC solution, if you don't mind starting there.
Sure. And just a quick background about IMG Citrus too. We are a Florida citrus grower. We started we're about 46 years old now. It's a family-owned company. We're now in the second generation. So we are a Florida citrus grower and a year-round importer as well. And we're based in Vero Beach, Florida. So as we look at, QC from a company perspective, and we look at where we are now, we look at where we're going in the future, we were seeing significant year-over-year growth, and we knew that we needed to look into all of our processes and identify what areas we really need to dive deep into to support the current growth and years to come's growth. And that led us to doing a deep dive with QC. So as we went down this journey, so Todd's right, we've been working together for about a year now, but we started the search about a year and a half ago. So Sam and I went on this long journey we have now since completed, and we really wanted to find a solution that would save us time, improve data organization and reporting, streamline internal review for our sales team, QC team, but also for external communications for our grower partners as well. We wanted a platform, of course, that's going to be user-friendly for the inspectors, right? As Todd said, that's their number one customer. We want to make sure Sam and her team is happy. We wanted a solution that would be able to integrate with our ERP system, as well as be able to utilize reporting features such as Power BI and being able to flow that data up into it. And then we wanted to, as we're looking at currently and thinking about the future too, we wanted to really partner with someone who's committed to not just right now, but the future as well. So someone who's looking into improvement, innovation in QC space. So that then led us to ClaryFresh.
Thank you. Um, So thank you for choosing us. And then if we, without giving away any of the inside baseball about how you guys do things day to day, what I was really interested in is the scale in which, Sam, you and your team are doing inspections now. So if you don't mind, like walking us through, I know you're doing thousands of inspections with ClareFresh over a course of time. Um, if you don't mind sharing, like what were the most important initial inspection points that you wanted to bring live onto the solution to help you and your team, go faster and collect the data um, originally when you started the project?
Yeah, so we do Florida citrus and import citrus. So we needed an arrival QC for everything that was coming in. We needed line processes. We needed to check age inventories. We needed everything Florida. So our Florida process is a P1 and a P2. So we needed a P1 process, a P2 process. So we have over 10 processes going on every day.
And include not only in the processes, what I also noticed was you have the ability and in the wherewithal to compare the quality data versus multiple standards. So if you don't mind, like walking us through just the one thing ClareFresh can do is it allows you to do an inspection and compare that inspection versus multiple standards that are saved in the solution itself. So just, from a business perspective, why would you have multiple standards for the inspector to compare against, and how does that help your business?
I
Becca, can you answer that?
Yeah, I can jump in on that one. So I like to look at it as it's a puzzle, right? So we're always putting all of the pieces together to make sure that the right fruit gets to the right customer. So ClearFresh allows us to not just look at, FIFO for fruit rotation, because it's an important data factor, but there's also when it comes to perishable products, there are many factors that you can be looking to make sure that the right fruit gets to the right person. So with the data analytics that we get from ClearFresh, and again, using Power BI to have our internal teams being looking at that data on a daily basis, we now can put our puzzle together a little differently when it comes to even more complex data points that then allows our sales team, our QC team, our operations team to work seamlessly together to organize the best route for the fruit to get the most value out of it, to get the least amount of waste, as well as making sure our customers are getting the expectations that they want and need, as well as for our grower partners too.
Excellent. Shifting gears just a little bit. Okay, so when you transitioned off of the way that you did QC prior to ClareFresh,
Mhm.
and what we've discovered, talking to hundreds and hundreds of people, is that journey could be different for every single uh, customer that we have. Some folks are literally coming off of paper. Some folks have done an amazing job of figuring out how to craft together multiple spreadsheets and email correspondence and build everything out that way. As I'm leading into is we want to work with Sebastian here on the call to talk about if somebody puts their hand up and says, this sounds like a really good idea. I want to centrally manage all of my QC through a vendor like ClareFresh. The journey to go live, right? Like it's one thing to select a software vendor, it's quite another to get to the point where you're actually live on the platform and in getting the value out of it. So without giving away too much detail, would you describe that IMG had a collection of systems that they had together? Like what was your starting point on the way you used to do inspections?
Sam, do you want to explain how what life was like prior to ClearFresh real quick, and then I'll add on to it?
Yeah. So when we used to do QCs, it was all on Google spreadsheets. So you would have to go into every single spreadsheet and look at all of the data points. Now everything is just instantly there, it's organized all in one space. So it makes it a lot easier to view.
Hmm. And not just so the data input, like Sam was saying, with the inspectors being able to now use the app, so it's less manual. We're getting the data quicker, but we're also doing more with the data than what we did before. So the utilization of the prior data, it didn't allow us to quickly flip through it, to quickly, put that puzzle together that we were talking about. And now we can do, we can work 10 times faster with the Clarifresh data in a usable Power BI platform, as well as all the reporting features that are within Clarifresh itself, being able to send out. We don't have to send any more reports. We simply just have all of our grower partners, they have automatic reports all set up. So the amount of time savings on just looking at the actual data and then sharing back out the data, it's significant in how we've been able to use the product thus far.
Terrific. Sebastian, just to pull you in, not to surprise you here. I mean, if you could just take a second and describe, like, if someone says, you know what, I want to work with Clarifresh, Sam and the team say, I want to convert what she just described, right? Here's how we do it today. How do we convert that over with you and your team, customer success and the project managers, just high level, what would that process look like? To someone who wanted to do what IMG is doing today?
Oh yeah, we work with the customers directly. So we take their current process. We see what similarities we have with Clarifresh, and then we implement everything they have onto Clarifresh, and then work with them, seeing how the report is turning out, and that all the information that they need to see can be shown within Clarifresh. It's quite a short process, honestly. It doesn't take a long time. Well, in the case of IMG Citrus, Becca and Sam, they already knew what they wanted to see, so it sped the process up a lot. But in general, the process itself is just working with the client themselves and uploading everything they need to see.
Thank you. And I'll just make a point. So, to everyone who's listening, Becca and the team at IMG Citrus use Power BI. Clarifresh is it's a modern software platform with the ability to connect to outside systems. So if the team feels more comfortable doing their reporting in Power BI, just stay there and we'll you know send the data to Power BI in the cadence of time it's necessary to keep using Power BI. But we also have a native reporting engine that could be useful. So one thing, Becca and Sam, what Sebastian and I noticed was you've taken good advantage of on the reports tab to setting up scheduled reports, which is quite a nice shortcut. If you don't mind talking about that a little bit, we think that's really interesting.
Yeah, so all of our growers require a us to send all of the reports every week. So before we were having to manually send everything. Now you just put in what time you want it sent, which day you want it sent, and all of the reports are there and available for them. We also do it with our internal team. So every day at 8 o'clock, they get all of the line processes and all of the inbounds at a different time. So it's really nice and it saves a lot of time.
Anything else, Becca, from I know you've spent a lot of time with Sam building on that reports tab because it's one thing to take in data, whether it's quality data or just data in general, data in needs to become data out, right? So the beautiful thing is we're taking in centralized, structured, and granular data through Sam's inspection team. But the reporting and the analytics on the back end, it's pretty unique how quickly you can get to it. Clarifresh, you have anything else? I love that you guys are doing scheduled reporting. That's awesome. But do you have anything else you'd like to add, Becca, strategically,
Yeah.
where that might go, where you want to take it?
Well, I will say just a comment on the grower side of it. in preparation for Southern Hemisphere, which is, we just started that in June. We set up all of our growers with all the automatic reporting that Sam just mentioned. She put together a document that really goes through how to read our reports because we made sure on all of them for all the commodities that we manage, it's uniform across the board. So now we're starting to get that real live feedback from our Southern Hemisphere partners as they're getting those automatic weekly reports. And I think we've had to meet with one out of all of our suppliers that we have because all the other ones, and the one that we met with was simply just they wanted to learn more. They were excited about it. But all the other ones, the feedback was, no, it's very clear. We don't need to meet. We will continue monitoring it, continue learning from this. They think the format is really great. The data that we're presenting is really great. Overall, just in comparison to last year where we are to the more manual reporting to where we are now, it's quite an enhancement. So everyone's super excited. And then on the internal side of things, when it comes to data reporting, since we're getting the information so much quicker and reviewing it at a much more in-depth level due to the display of the data, we're now, if we're capturing the data, really, really questioning how are we using that data to make the best informed decisions to make sure we get the right fruit to the right customer. So I think it's allowing us to really think deeper and more complex to make sure that on all aspects of the business, whether it's the retailers, our grower partners, et cetera, we're doing all the things we possibly can to have the best outcome for all parties.
Awesome. Well, there's some questions coming in. So I think a really cool thing, this is all about IMG and the value. You originally set out as a team to find something that was to help the business, right? I mean, this the why you went on this journey of selection and evaluation. Thank you for choosing us. If you could say, what are the top three things from an ROI perspective, from a value benefit perspective, have you experienced in year one? So, do you have like a top three that come to mind?
Well, time savings right off the bat. Not only just inspectors from CM's team as they're going through and doing it, but on the reporting side of everything as well. Just having the visibility to all that data, we can review it much quicker than we could before. And the same thing with relaying that information out to our grower partners. We're saving a tremendous amount of time there. And we're also able to do more now with the same amount of resources that we could before. So as we continue to, see a significant year-over-year growth with the volume, it allows us to have that confidence to support that volume growth, to know that Sam's team is fully supported and we're not going to overwhelm them, right? That's the last thing we want to do is have teams that are under-resourced and can't support the growth that we are. So now we have that confidence of knowing that we have a much better idea on time, right? How long it's going to take to do X because of this app, because of the platform and the reporting features on it.
Um, from a next phase of value, I mean, you guys have become superpower users within the solution. You're doing all sorts of cool stuff in there. Anything come to mind where you might be able to take it that could support the growth? Because you guys are growing, you're global. And any thoughts there?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? My internet broke up a little bit.
You have the value you've experienced in year one.
Mhm.
Because of that experience, do you see like a next level that you could take the program to support the growth that you guys are experiencing, which is great. You're growing like wildfire, but how can we help you more?
I think it's going to be super interesting for our next Florida season as we look at the taste profile, we look at the bricks and the acidity and all of that we're going into our normal reporting when it comes to Florida, but also within Clear Fresh, building that out even further. And we have the opportunity to look towards, we have our field inspectors for Florida. How do we want to continue to explore that route and see how we can integrate more of our data together so that way Sam and her team, the sales team, et cetera, can look at all of that for informed decision making and also the goal of to have everything on one platform.
Awesome.
Sam, I
Sam,
don't know
not
if
to put, yo,
that.
please, I was just going to put Sam on the spot if you don't mind, Sam. So, uh, when you have to make a change to something, because change is constant in the business and in the world, um, could you tell the audience like what you can do to make those changes in ClairFresh?
Yeah, so we've had plenty of meetings where we review everything and we decide, hey, let's add this or let's do this different or can we do that? So basically, it's super easy to do. Normally, I can figure it out for myself. If not, me and Becca team up and we can do it ourselves. And if we can't do it, Sebastian is always available and willing to help.
Yeah, so we designed the product to be really user friendly, and thank you for acknowledging that from a administrative manager role perspective, where you can go in and do you could add bricks readings, you could change the order of the inspection, and then when you hit save, you haven't even had to tell the inspector anything's been changed. They just jump into the app and they just keep going and realize the benefit that Becca and Sam mentioned about speed and accuracy within the inspections. Also, you can add, like we mentioned before, IMG is adding standards. They're adjusting standards. Becca just mentioned taste profile. There's all sorts of things that can change a quality standard. That is also self-serve within the back end of ClairFresh. You don't have to be a coder, to pull that off. Now, if you forget how to do it, no big deal. You can work with colleagues like Sam just mentioned. She works with Becca, but ClairFresh, just to let everyone know, we have a customer success model. Sebastian and his team are available for refresher questions. We have a knowledge base, whatever it takes to help the client become a super user within ClairFresh. That's just a benefit to all. So you have that type of uniqueness and support within our platform. Um, Okay, we're coming up on the promised time of 30 minutes. There have been a couple of questions that have come in. One is pretty tried and true. We get it all the time. Sebastian, this one's for you. How do you guys integrate and connect to ERP or WMS systems? And what does that look like if we need that from ClairFresh?
No, yeah, we do have a REST API which can connect to any ERP with an API. The process for that is quite quick. If not, we will always find a way to actually integrate to your system. We have connected to others that do not have APIs. That is a project on its own, but you can always connect to Clarifresh. You can always pull data from your ERP and get it onto Clarifresh. There's no ERP we cannot connect to.
Thank you. Second question came in around, I made the statement you could do one inspection and compare the results of that inspection against multiple standards. And this is what this question's around. They're asking the comparison report that you mentioned and Becca mentioning outbound inspections based on customer specs. Sebastian, I think that'd be great. Walk through how we can do that. How does ClairFresh design to be able to accommodate one inspection and compare to multiple specs?
Yeah, so basically what we did is we took the process and divided it into three. So we have the reporting, the process itself, which is the flow of the inspection, and then the standard or tolerance. So that is how we can actually have multiple standards grade one process because the flow itself, it's a individual, it's an individual process or flow. The standards, we can have as many as you need. We can have a standard per customer. And then once you finish that inspection, you can go to our reporting and choose to compare that inspection to all the standards you currently have. And we have no limit for that. That is how we do it.
Thank you. A question about around storage capacity. I'll take this one. The question is, my inspectors takes lots of photos, and do you have any issues with image size and storage? And the answer to that is no. So with ClairFresh, I guess I'll take it up one notch. If you're interested in ClairFresh, our pricing model, it's software as a service. It's based on number of users as to what the annual investment is into the software itself. And within that subscription, you have the ability to do as many inspections as you want, create as many processes as you want, create as many standards as you want, and take as many photos as you want of the sample and have that all be part of the QC report and also part of the grower reporting or the supplier reporting. So it's unlimited storage for photos and data itself. Um, and now we've arrived at time. Um, Thank you, everyone. We're going to send this recording out when we're done, but it's always best to leave off to the folks who are the most important. Is there anything that IMG Citrus would like to add here at the end? Clara Fresh says thank you. Thank you all.
I think for Myron is just thank you all as well too. Big thanks to Sebastian as we have become little coders ourselves on being able to manage everything on the back end. So it's been fun learning how to navigate all this and learn together. And excited for what the future comes for AI and Clary Fresh.
Thanks, Becca. Sam?
What Becca said.
Beautiful. Okay. Thanks everyone who joined us today. We really appreciate it. And IMG, congratulations on the amazing things you're doing as a business. We couldn't be happier to be a part of that journey and partner with you. And as always, please let us know how we can help.
Thank you all.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.